Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. This week's video, I wanted to give you guys an update on the clinical psychologist assessment that we did. We got the paperwork back from that, and I guess my my overall view of it was it's going to do exactly what we wanted it to do. We are doing it strictly for, if you haven't watched the part one of this, we are doing it strictly for being able to ask for AISH, which is, guaranteed income for people with disabilities, and with PDD, which is also something that is a service we can provide Darian as he transitions to adulthood. But as I guess the overarching thing that we got out of it was parents know best. The purpose of having a clinical psychologist tell them that yes, in fact, my child is autistic. Yes, in fact, he does need assistance and help. Is they need somebody else other than his parents to tell him that, in the event that somehow we're sneaky and are trying to take the government for all they're worth. They waste money way better than I ever could, but they need proof, right? So yeah, that was the big thing. This therapist, his name was JP. He was, in fact, one of the best therapists that I've ever had or come across with Darian. He was kind. He believed me. He allowed me to be in the room, which was noted in the paperwork. He was very thorough about describing just how everything went down and what his thoughts were on it. Essentially, that he wasn't a typical teenager, which again, parents already knew that. And yeah, but it was funny because I don't know if we had decided or we had wondered if he might diagnose Darian with PDA, which is pervasive demand avoidance, and Gestalt. I said Gestalt last time, but it's Gestalt language processor. And I was kind of hoping that we would have like confirmation from that, but he says, the therapist that he knows, and he works with several, they don't actually diagnose children with any of that, which I was very surprised by. It was, yeah. And then he was very limited by the tools that he had to do the assessment. So if Darian didn't comply to doing those particular skills that they ask for, then essentially he got an incomplete or wasn't able to, or very low, or, all of the different varying ways to say, yeah. So again, Colin was actually quite surprised. My husband was very surprised by it. He was like, so in all the years that autism has been a thing, they've never met a child that wasn't, or that, was resistant to doing these tests. And they're very much so like focused on paper and whatever. So it's fine. It was very like almost laughable funny to me, because essentially it'll do the trick for what it was for. Like, we were expecting it to be he's not capable to live on his own, but we were hoping it was going to be more helpful. And then when we asked them after the whole assessment was done and he talked about things, I asked him, okay, well, you're in this field looking after autistic kids and doing therapies with them. I was like, do you know of any therapies or therapists that specifically work with children with PDA? And he was like, no, I haven't, but I'm really interested. I might look that up. And I was like, okay, and I was kind. I wasn't like, acting all frustrated with him or anything, but it was something that I was like, okay, this filtered, like PDA filtered to me through my Facebook page. It was just a video that popped up and I was like, oh my goodness, that's my Darian, right? And so again, I knew that it was fairly new, but I thought in the field of therapy for autistics that this would be something that was not new to him. He was like, literally, I've heard it once or twice before. And I was like, okay, well, I've heard it way more than that, and I'm just brand new. And yeah, so it's the point of this video. The point of this video is that you, as the parent who loves your kid, who does the research on your kid, this is not a job for you. This is not something that you go, well, I guess I have to do it because it's in my 9 to 5 day. This is your whole life, and you are the most motivated to help your child learn and grow and develop and be able to be as independent as they are possible. You are the one who is motivated to do that. And I just got a boost, if you will, of, Jamie, this is your job. Like, don't expect the medical system or, any system around, don't expect them to actually be able to do more than you've already done. And I don't mean that, and I hope it doesn't come across as like I'm poo-pooing on the whole thing, but I liken it to the medical system and the school system like a big container ship. They go, this is what we've been doing for decades, and this is what works, and this is what we're going to do. And something new comes, and that would require a shift or a change or a turn. And they're like, well, maybe. We'll think about it. And we'll think about it for decades. We'll think about it for months and years. And hopefully, maybe eventually, if it's proved to be good enough, eventually we'll change and we'll do something different. And I was very surprised, if I am honest, that like I likened, when I talked to him about it, JP, I was like, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss the boat. Like, this has been around for 10 years and I just didn't hear it. Because like I said, this came to me through my Facebook page. Like, it wasn't like I had been searching online. It was, okay, that's cool because that sounds like my son. And then, yeah, but from the therapist perspective, he was like, oh no, this is pretty recent. So again, dear listener, dear watcher, if you have a child with special needs and you find something that you're like, this is my child, what do they have available? You do your research, you look into it, trust yourself. Even when somebody tells you, no, that's ridiculous, no, that isn't mainstream, no, our whole Sunrise program, which is what we do with Darian in his playroom time, this therapist didn't poo-poo it. I was very happy about that. But at the same time, he hadn't heard that either, and I know that's been around for decades. And so I'm like, well, maybe he will share that with his other therapists and they will look into it. And again, I'm just like, that the Sunrise program was made for parents, by parents, and for a really good reason. And it's just sad to me, the level of, yeah. It just makes me sad, because who knows how much further along we would be if all ideas were worth looking into and worth trying out and stuff. Like I really, really, that it just makes me sad. So in any case, the point of this video was just to encourage you. If you are a parent with a child with special needs, and you are the one finding therapies and looking up things, and you know, doing even some of the stuff with PDA that I was like, we're doing that already just by being trained by my son. You've got this, and hopefully, like RFK Jr., his whole thing, his whole push for it will help change that system. But yeah, trust that you know what is the best for your kids, and the expert is you, not the ones who went to school, not the ones who do this for a job. You are the expert. And I hope that that encourages you. It makes me sad, but it did encourage me 100%, because I was like, yeah, I'm already miles ahead of this therapist, this clinical psychologist whose job it is to look into this. Like yeah, I cannot give parents more snaps for the fact that you are doing an excellent job. You're taking care of your kids to the best of your ability, and do not let anyone, including yourself, tell you that you are not good at it. You are. And I'm like, that was from a therapist who I was so impressed by. So, yeah. I really, really, really hope this encourages you. We will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.